Hello, welcome to Prime Business with me, Pious Kojo Backah. Just gone by where your commodities update. Straight to our very first story. The high inflation rate has put some pressure on the Bank of Ghana to increase the lending rate by some 29.5%. Well, this is the second time the central bank has increased the rate. My colleague George Yafe has more.
The governor noted that the Bank of Ghana wanted to take the necessary measures to help bring inflation rate to appreciable levels by the end of this year, hence the decision to hike the rate again by this margin.
The Bank of Ghana will continue to monitor these developments going forward and stands ready to act very swiftly to safeguard the stability of the financial sector. Growth. Headline inflation has declined marginally for 2 consecutive months, but continues to remain relatively high compared to the medium-term target of 8 plus or minus 2%. To place the economy firmly on the path of stability and reinforce the pace of disinflation, it is important that the monetary policy stance be tuned further to re-anchor inflation expectations.
In the IMF program approval by the board, this is what the governor had to say.
Fortunately, there is progress on that front. The official creditors committee met last week. They are looking at a date in April by which time they expect to give the necessary financial assurances. And once that is out of the way, once we have signed this memorandum of understanding, once Parliament has passed these new revenue measures, we would have completed what they call the prior actions. This is what is needed for the fund to set a date for the executive board meeting. So hopefully, if things go as planned, by the end of April, we should see that executive board meeting.
The governor of the Bank of Ghana also rejected argument that the central bank did indeed print cash to finance Government of Ghana's budget deficit for last year.
Bank of Ghana's forecast for currency printing does not include, government financing needs. We make an estimate of the GDP for the year. A major factor in that is the cocoa production forecast. So that is what goes into, forecasting currency printing requirements. If you go to the bank's office on Spintex Road, we have a currency processing center there. We have vaults full of CDs. So we don't need to print money. We already have cash sitting in our vaults and release these resources as and when the economy demands them. So that, impression that Bank of Ghana prints money to finance overdraft is completely wrong.
Dr. Addison also assured that the regulator is taking the necessary measures that will help stabilize the banking sector, as he rules out that any bank getting into the red zone as a result of this action.
The data that we have seen so far, I'm not sure what that means in terms of insolvency of banks. There are banks that have been impacted on. The capital adequacy ratios that I've seen, some of them have declined. I'm not sure if any banks have been driven into insolvency.
The Bank of Ghana is also giving the firm indication that it will be going ahead to strictly implement the zero financing of government budgets. The committee also decided to reset the cash reserve ratio on domestic currency deposits for banks from 12% to 14%, effective 13th April 2023. The governor noted that it stands ready to take additional liquidity management operations to address excess liquidity conditions in the market.
Part of the design of the macro framework going into 2023 and in the medium term would be the zero financing from the central bank. And that is why it's important that the revenue projections for 2023 and beyond are realized.
Well, reacting to this development, the Association of Ghana Industries is making a strong appeal to the various commercial banks not to increase their interest rates following the hike in the policy rate by the Bank of Ghana. Chena Makwalu is the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the association.
We will be meeting soon to discuss the way forward. But on top of my head, I'm very clear that we will have to appeal to the commercial banks not to increase their lending rate. It really has to be a moral situation now, because the rates are already high. And the commercial banks know that if they continue to increase it, nobody will come for loan because they're already high. And at that rate, if you borrow money, you cannot guarantee profitability of your business. And so, in effect, the businesses are being crowded out. So we will be appealing to the commercial banks in a big way, and also really engage the central bank so that in the future they consider some of these things. We just feel that we're not being heard, and that's not a good thing. I mean, because we've been really on, as we are aware, we've really been on this journey of asking them to consider to reduce the policy rate. But it appears that, we're not getting, and they are not demonstrating to us the result of the increment of policy rate. I mean, if we're seeing inflation in single digits, then we know it's achieving results. But inflation is in the excess of the 50%. And that's the point. We're saying that at that rate, clearly the increasing policy rate is not achieving the desired result. Obviously, something ought to be changed. Something different must happen, which is that reduce the policy rate. Let there be money, cheaper money for businesses, so that we can employ the many young people who are unemployed and really deal with the situation of the unemployment in the country.
Now, the program's manager of skills and employment at the delegation of the European Union, Marta Brigoni, has reiterated the need for various operators to support small and medium-sized enterprises in the country. According to her, supporting these businesses will enable them scale up the operations and create more employment opportunities. Here is more.
The Green Accelerator project gave 11 SMEs the opportunity to compete for an amount of 10,000 Ghana cedis to support their businesses. The project was themed Green Entrepreneurship, a Sustainable Solution to Economic Growth. Program Manager of Skills and Employment at the delegation of European Union, Marta Brignoni, said the support would go a long way to help the businesses scale up.
Green work with the green businesses that have amazing ideas, but they still need some support to grow up, to scale up. So with the Green Project, we are supporting, and today we are here to learn much more about the entrepreneur that we are supporting to the project. How do we support? We support them to increase their capacity on soft skills. What does it mean? We are supporting these businesses in better branding their product, in greening their processes. Many businesses are polluting the environment. So we are working a lot with a number of entrepreneurs to green the processes. So in the end, we have products that are not bothering and damaging the environment. We are helping them we are supporting them in facilitating access to finance. So how you can have a brilliant idea, but how are you able to sell your idea to the financial institution?
Senior Incubation and Acceleration Advisor Genevieve Parker-Chum added that the SMEs would be connected to other funding agencies to expand their businesses.
The Green Acceleration Program, we are supporting small and growing businesses that have already gained some traction, and then we are helping them to scale up their business. Over the past 3 years, we've worked with InnoHub here in Accra, and we've supported about 20 SMEs so far to scale up their businesses. So these are businesses from Ashanti and Western region. They are in agriculture, in renewable energy, in water sanitation and hygiene. What we do for them is to help them to scale up their businesses so that they can attract funds and also expand their markets.
The businesses were judged based on the sustainability and scalability of the operation.
Thanks so much for being part of the bulletin. I am Pious Kojo Backah. You can always get business stories when you log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Grateful serving you.